Welcome to the chat box, everybody, your mental health podcast for the Vail Valley. I'm Liz Farron. The other best half of this podcast is Jen Sido. And you've been working very hard on this special. I'm starting over. Sorry.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Chat Box Vail, everybody, your mental health podcast here in the community. I'm Liz Farron, and the other part of the chat box is Jen Sido, and you've worked really hard on getting our special guest. We come to you from High Five Access Media, and what we like to do here is keep you emotionally sane as best as we can. We bring in different types of people every week to either tell a story or somebody that's a professional that can help somebody, but everybody has a different way of healing, and the mind and the emotion is a very powerful thing. And when we go through stuff, big stuff, it affects us for the rest of our lives. And that explains why this nice man is sitting right here next to me. Okay. So I want to just welcome to you. This is Joel Paula. Okay. And you might know him as Cheddar Bob. Now I just want some cheese. I don't know why. But it's a very big honor to have you here. Jen's been talking about you for quite a while now. And what I was thinking about is the best way to get past experiences or to help others realize that they've been dealing with life in a certain manner and they can break free of that is by telling your story. So Jen, tell us a little bit about Joel and why he's here today.
Well, so we're going to leave the storytelling to Joel, but you've had a really amazing survival story that is one of my biggest fears, which happens to be on the mountain and getting stuck in an avalanche. And so this was, as you said, this is your to the date, your 2-year anniversary since this has happened.
Oh, yeah. We should have brought you snow cones or something.
We still can.
We're going out for snow cones after this.
But please, tell us about the experience. It's absolutely terrifying. But how did you survive? How did you find yourself here? And just kind of take us on your journey.
I started out hiking off the chairlifts in Beaver Creek, just kind of poking around in the trees, kind of playing around. Moved here from Florida, had no idea anything about avalanches or avalanche safety or anything like that. Just chasing the soft snow. And I took my Avi Safety 1 and I met this guy, Zach, who is a very fired up snowboard mountaineer. And we went and we skied Mount Quandary and just hiked up to the top and skied down. We basically skied right back to the car, and that was blew my mind. I was like, well, this is great. And that was not even close to anything to do with backcountry at all, because you hike for hours and hours in terrible conditions to try to get above tree line to ski maybe decent snow. And that day was just really, really fun and great. So that's kind of how I started out skiing peaks. I took my Avi 2 and my wilderness first responder after that and just started connecting more and more peaks together. We were skiing 8, 10, 12, 15,000 foot days, leaving at midnight or 2 or 3 in the morning pretty consistently. So I've skied the majority of the Gore Range peaks and a lot of stuff around here, not to bore you with my resume.
No, that's intense in itself.
No, it's really interesting. Before you get on with this, because I'm from Florida too, did you water ski first?
No water skiing.
Wow.
I was a beach bum. I didn't even like the water at all. So I just sat on the beach and looked at girls is pretty much what I did.
That's a hobby in Florida.
Yeah. I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's kind of how I started all of it.
What they be like.
The lights are going crazy. So on the day, February 23rd, 2 years ago, I slept through my alarm by almost an hour. So I just panicked, left my house. So it's pretty crazy that I even went outside that day. And I rushed over to Eastvale up Pitkin Creek. So the approach is a 2-mile approach. Just pretty hard head wall, like a glaciated head wall to get up Pitkin Creek, and then a pretty flat skin in. And it was kind of windy. We probably had maybe 3 to 4 inches of snow that night, or the night before, I should say. And I I had been skiing the chute for like 2 weeks straight. So this was my 16th lap on the birthday chute in maybe 2 or 3 weeks. So I was feeling pretty comfortable with the terrain. So the chute itself isn't super steep. So anything above 30 degrees, you're generally not supposed to ski. So the chute itself isn't that steep. There's one little cliff at the bottom that's steeper, but the run out's pretty mellow. And the surrounding terrain above it is very steep, and that's where we got in trouble. So we went up about 1,600 feet up the chute, and we were about to turn around, and we're like, well, we have like 3 or 4 more minutes. Let's just go up a little bit higher. So we went up higher and probably did maybe 6 or 8 more switchbacks, maybe another 100 feet. And we were starting to transition, take our skins off, and get ready to ski down. And I looked up, and I just saw this wave of snow coming at us. And
Oh my God.
it didn't look that big. Like, it probably looked maybe a foot deep, maybe 2 feet. I was like, oh, probably just sweep us off our feet, and it's no big deal. And I was very, very wrong on that. So it felt like getting hit by a moving train, probably. Just like hit so hard, and I was just taken by the snow, and all I could hear was just the snow just like swooshing around.
Did you feel it? Or were you just in shock and just kind of rolling with it?
I could definitely feel
You
it.
could.
You know, you're just kind of getting washing machine. It's basically like being a washing machine with boulders.
Wow. Oh my
So,
gosh.
I had a Garmin watch on, and I hit 125 miles an hour down the chute. So it was super crazy. So it was me, my partner, and my border collie in the slide. So
Oh,
we all got taken out at the same time. I had my skis on my feet, so I lost a glove, my poles, my skis, and my helmet was on my backpack. So I did the entire slide with no helmet on. And we ended up at the bottom, like the apron of the chute, and wasn't buried at all. I was literally just like sitting on the snow with my feet facing downhill. And my partner was like screaming my name, and we were literally lined up within like 20 feet of each other. And my dog was buried head first. So my partner went and he unburied my dog.
Oh my God.
And I looked down at my leg, and I was just like moving it back and forth. And I definitely knew that my femur was broken.
Wow.
So it was a.
That's this muscle or
Yeah.
bone rather?
Yeah, so it's about 800 pounds of force to break your femur. It's the strongest bone in your body. And if you break it too high, you'll hit an artery in your leg, and you'll bleed out immediately. So,
Wow.
so my partner dug out my dog, and we tried to hike out. I had no skis. He had one ski. So we pretty much tried to put one ski on my good foot, and I couldn't even I stood up, and the pain was obviously excruciating. And my hand hurt, but I didn't know the extent of my injuries in my hand. We'll get to that. So I had a satellite transceiver, a Garmin InReach, and you have to hold down the button to push to notify search and rescue or to turn it
okay.
on. And my partner didn't know how to use the InReach.
Oh.
And I was so banged up and so out of it that I didn't even consider that he didn't know how to use it.
Oh, wow.
So I was.
I thought
he
they
was just-
automatically go off when there's something like that happens.
Well, generally you'll just keep it off and then
Oh.
turn it on so it doesn't die when you're
Gotcha.
out in the field. So that was definitely interesting. The lady that skied down with me, she teaches avalanche safety, and we had this conversation about having to talk to her students about how to use InReaches. And she was just
Wow.
like, well, that's good information to know. So
What's the secret?
what's the secret? You hold down the button
Yeah.
until it turns on.
Gotcha.
Because if you just press the button, it's not going to turn on. So it's a safety feature. So you're not just calling search and rescue all
Gotcha.
willy-nilly.
So you press and hold that button. Got it.
So we were there for about an hour. So the slide took place at 8:30 in the morning, and he was with me till about 9:30. and his phone fell out of his pocket, and my phone was wedged like on my inner thigh, and I didn't realize that I still had my cell phone because my pocket was open, and I just figured, after it was just gone. So I had no idea. And so he hiked out, and he met up with a hiker at 10:30 in the morning, and she called search and rescue, and I texted my boss, Doug, right around that time, like, hey, I'm not going to be at work today. I was in an avalanche. Like,
Did he get
and-
mad?
well, I think he was the one that actually called search and rescue
Aw,
first.
yay,
Amazing.
Doug.
So,
We
but
love Doug.
yeah. So there was 2 people on the ridge, and she teaches avalanche safety, and he works for the Avalanche Information Center, or used to at least. So they had a radio, and they heard the search and rescue call. So they were looking at where we had skinned up, and they saw where the avalanche broke, the avalanche crown, and they skied down to me at 10:15 in the morning. So because of them, I survived. A lot of things
Wow.
went wrong, but a lot of things went right as well.
Yeah.
So they kept me awake, talked to me, gave me warm clothes, got me off the snow.
How did they
all the
get you
things.
down?
I was all the way at the base, basically
were already?
in the valley. We were probably maybe 50 feet from the valley floor.
Wow.
So
And that's how far you fell, was 50 feet.
I fell 1,600 feet.
Oh my God.
Yikes.
Yeah.
And then you had to get down 50 more.
Well, they just kind of kept me there because
Okay.
a Black Hawk got me out of there. So they sent the search and rescue helicopter to get me. And when search and rescue was heading in, one of the search and rescue individuals had a heart attack and died.
Oh my God.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's just like so crazy. And it's hard to like beat myself up over that. I mean, he's doing his job. and,
Exactly.
you
But
know,
I
he-
understand you.
Yeah, it's just like all the things. And
You
like,
just survived
after
this
everything that
massive
I've gone
thing.
through. It's like, so it was crazy because I had no idea what was going on, obviously, and they hadn't even reached me yet. So I saw the helicopter, I heard it, and then it went away. So that was probably maybe 4 hours into the ordeal, and I was just like, okay. And it was kind of getting a little bit windy, so I was like, well, maybe there's too much weather and they can't get me out. And Kelly was just like, well, they're sending another helicopter for you. And I was just like, okay. And you don't really have any perception of time because you're pretty much going into shock at this point in time. So at about 3:30 in the afternoon, the Black Hawk comes in, and they're flying up and down the valley. And obviously, these helicopters are not designed for this. Like, generally, you're not flying a helicopter or an airplane in a valley ever.
Okay.
So that's just, especially with weather. So it was definitely getting pretty windy. And I was definitely a little worried that they weren't going to be able to get me out. And if I were there any longer than I was, I wouldn't be here right now because I would have frozen to death or bled out or all the above. So,
Hypothermia.
yeah, all of it. So
Did you
when
get frostbite?
no,
No. Good for
No.
you. Good.
I've had it before. It's
Oh, yeah.
not very fun.
Frostbite.
So, yeah, it's not good.
Nothing compared to this.
So the helicopter finally, they did a couple laps around the valley, and they're like, okay. So I guess they figured it was good enough to pick me up, and they lowered the stretcher down, and the guy that was attached to the stretcher was one of the guys that taught my avalanche safety too, which is crazy. I found out this later, which is just so like such crazy things what the universe does sometimes. I'm like, oh, it's Mike Bradley. That guy taught my avalanche safety too. So, so they put me into the stretcher, and that was obviously very, very painful.
Oh.
And we were kind of like spinning around a little bit and kind of rotating kind of back and forth. And I was looking up at the helicopter. I was on my back, and the helicopter was just kind of doing like the back and forth thing. And I was just saying to myself, I was like,
Oh my God.
this is it. This is how I'm gonna go.
Wow.
Like I was literally like having like the James Bond film.
You
where,
were like
the
doing
helicopter,
stuntman stuff.
yeah. So they raised me up probably maybe 100 so feet, and I was probably maybe 30 feet from the helicopter.
Ooh.
And it was they couldn't like stabilize it enough, so they dropped me back down.
Oh my God.
And I was just like, okay, so now what are we doing? So, and then they just did it again, and they pushed me into the helicopter, and Mike looked at me and he said, everything's going to be okay. And I was just like, okay, sure. And it was so loud inside of it. I mean, this is like a military giant helicopter. And
Right.
it was just, I just remember like laying on my back, just like looking at the ceiling, couldn't see anything because I'm strapped into this, just like, oh my God, what is happening right now? So, the helicopter is too big to land on top of the hospital. The other helicopter, I think, was small enough, but this is a military grade aircraft, so it was just too big. So I had to get flown to Matterhorn Creek, which is 3 miles away. Don't get hurt, kids. It was a $3,000
Little trip.
ride for
Wow.
3 miles to
Oh my
go to the
God.
hospital.
$1,000.
So I got to the hospital, and they gave me hand warmers and a heated blanket.
Oh,
And
that was nice of them.
that was nice. And when I got into the ambulance, they cut off all my clothes. I was just soaking wet. Had like $700 Gore-Tex Pro pants on.
Oh, no.
And my ski boots were still in walk mode, and they're really hard to like take off when they're in walk mode.
And
you
you're
have to put 'em in-
broken.
and you're broken. But I couldn't form the words to say, hey, if you put them in ski mode, it would be easier to take them off. So I'm just like wrenching on my feet. And I'm just like, it was a bit painful. So I get in the hospital, and there's probably 12 to 14 nurses in the room. And that's when it was like, yeah, this is pretty serious. Like, and I wasn't really sure like how beat up I was. It's pretty shocking that I didn't have a head injury, obviously. So I broke all my fingers and the ulna, which is basically your wrist bone.
Right there, I have.
Yep. And then the hammus, which is this little middle bone here.
Oh, I never heard of that one.
Yeah.
Ouch.
So I get to learn all types of stuff in the hospital.
Yeah.
So
And the healing process for a nerve ending
Yeah.
takes forever.
So I got there, and I had compartment syndrome. So
What's
it's when the blood stops flowing to your extremities.
Oh, God.
So they're basically scoring your veins to make the blood flow to it. So my little Harry Potter scars here, that's all from compartment syndrome.
Wow.
So thank God I had
and
Dr.
you have paint
Viola.
on there too.
I got a little paint on my hand too. And I'm like pink right now. This is crazy.
But those are just small scars compared to, I can't even imagine what else. Tell us all of your injuries that you incurred.
So the first 2 surgeries were for compartment syndrome.
Okay.
So that was day 1. So I didn't lose my hand, because that's kind of important, I think,
Especially as a chef.
as a chef, you know.
Definitely.
And then the second day, they did my pinky and index finger and my femur. So I broke my femur just straight in half. So they did a titanium rod there. And then that was probably the worst of the surgeries. I remember waking up and just the pain was,
I can imagine.
I don't even have words for that. And
Well, did you also have it, the metal, everything holding your leg together?
no, it was all inside.
Oh,
So-
wow. Well, that's lucky
Yeah.
in a way.
Yeah, it's funky. So, Dr. Viola is friends with Doug, the owner of Juniper, and he knew that I do a lot of activities outside, and my leg was the wrong size. It wasn't long enough, so it was too short. So he was like, well, you can live with it, or we can do another surgery on your leg and make it a little bit longer. So I went and had another surgery on my leg to make it longer. So insult to injury. So not great, but I'm definitely happy that my legs are the same
Well,
size.
you would have
now.
hip issues your whole life if you
Yeah.
were walking like this.
Yeah.
You'd be, my hips. So this is good that they did it. In the end, it's a good result.
And now you're still super active. You bike on a daily basis. I
Really?
always see your Instagram videos and Facebook.
I'd be on a hammock making somebody feed me grapes for the rest of my life.
But I did a lot of miles last year, so I'm starting to get back into
That's
running
impressive.
now. So my dog had a punctured lung and a broken elbow. So Doug, he picked up Berto.
Doug loves dogs.
They brought him to a clinic in Edwards, and it was very sincere. So they basically took him to a doggy ICU down in Denver, and he literally he didn't go to work and spent the entire day in the car. And
Oh
I
my
think he got
God.
home at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning
What a man.
and saved Berto's life. So he was, Albert was in the animal hospital for about 10 days.
Wow.
And then he had a splint for about a month and a half. So he was definitely in rough shape, but he's doing about 25 to 30 miles a day with me now.
Oh, really?
So
And
he's,
we don't know if he has trauma because he can't really talk about it.
oh, he definitely has trauma.
You can tell.
So I was in the hospital and I had a pulmonary embolism. So
Damn.
that was the next one. So they didn't really notice that I was starting to decline, and Kat was like, hey, I think there's something wrong here. So they put a central line in my neck and gave me a blood transfusion. So that was day 4 in the hospital, I believe. So that was the next kind of look at death, I guess.
So that's like 3, almost 4.
Yeah, 4 in like 4 days.
Right.
Yeah.
So 4 near-death experiences
Yeah.
a day. Oh my goodness.
And are you like cognitively aware of this, or is this all happening and you're reflectively able to kind of remember that this happened to you?
I don't really think about it that much.
Yeah.
But I think what you're saying is, were you very aware of everything that was going on at the time?
Yeah, I was very aware of it.
You were. Because a lot
Yeah.
of people block
I
it
w-
out.
I was just kind of just like hanging out. Like I was just like, all right, well, this is where we're at right now.
Gosh.
Like when I was going into surgery, I think the second day they asked Kat if I had a head injury because I was just like joking around. And I was just like,
I don't
there's,
know,
like,
honestly.
There's like 2 different ways to deal with it. You can either just be miserable or you can just accept it and like have a decent attitude. And
Well,
that's
the
kind
sense
of
of
what
humor.
got me through all of this, was just like really putting in a lot of work to get healthy and to be positive about it. So I was always just like super appreciative and just like asking everything. I would literally just be like, can you do this for me? And I would just like apologize. I would just be like, okay, well, this is where we're at and this is what I'm doing. And, you know, I'm just happy to be here. And I think that's really important. I think it's really easy for people to be like negative and just have like the pity party. And that's just never been my MO. So
Absolutely.
That's impressive because when you go through not only a physical injury like that, I mean, to me, it would be like seeing a tidal wave coming at me when you saw the puff of smoke or the snow. That would have been like a tidal wave in my heart. You know what I mean? So there's major amounts of trauma going on here. You have so many different avenues, worrying about your pooch because we all love our dog so much, worrying about your life 4 different times in 4 days, worrying about flying around on a string on a helicopter. You know what I mean? There's so much that you endured and went through. And I think it's a beautiful thing, your state of mind and your attitude towards it, because you're right. Many people, I really don't know how I'd handle something like that, but you've shown such a great deal of strength.
I think that's just so important for life, is just to have the mental fortitude to be able to push forward in doing all these like really hard activities has also given me like a little more drive as well. I don't think necessarily I needed more drive, but it's also like it's easier when you're in like a darker spot to be like, well, you know, it's gonna be okay. You know,
Wow.
just keep pushing and keep going. So,
And what did you do to, obviously, we know Jen, mentioned what you do a little bit for physicality. What did you do as far as exercising your mental health? Did you just get out and get busy, or did you seek any kind of psychological help, or did you just do this all on your own? How did it work?
my therapist was coming to my house,
Okay.
so that was helpful.
That's
for
beautiful.
Sure. I just meditated a little bit,
Yeah.
and yeah, I just tried to just like go outside and just kind of do the things. So there wasn't really any like secret to any of it.
Okay.
So
And you didn't feel sorry for yourself. You just knew you were going to push forward.
I didn't feel sorry for myself. I was just very worried about being able to get back to my life. You know, I work with my hands every day and I ride my bike every day, and I was just like, that was terrifying to me to like not be able to do all those things for sure. I mean, that was like very real. So, I mean, that was the biggest one for me. It's like, okay. And that wasn't an option. So I was doing PT like 4 to 5 times a day, 7 days a week,
Wow.
every single day. So I just like breakfast, lunch, dinner, dessert. That was what I did. I did PT all day, every day. And that's like, I literally just watched The Amazing Race and I would just be doing PT.
That's motivating.
And then, like, I started out, I had like a walker and I would just like barely walk around the house, and like, and I started walking around the neighborhood. But right when I got out of the hospital, they couldn't do any more surgeries on my hand. I still had to have more plates put into the middle and the index. So I went to a PT, a rehab facility.
I liked
down-
PHAB.
PHAB.
Don't think I didn't catch that.
PHAB me. She's making fun of me. So I did 10 days down there, and I literally like couldn't even get out of bed. So
Oh,
it was super brutal trying to learn to walk again. Like I was borderline vomiting, trying to just get up.
just from the pain?
Yep. So I was on very hardcore drugs in the
I bet.
hospital, and then they're giving you like oxys. Not that oxys aren't strong, but when you're on that much pain, it's just like you're putting a Band-Aid on
Yeah, like a baby
a
aspirin.
gunshot
Yeah.
wound. So I started just like getting out of bed, and I would walk maybe 50 feet with my walker, and just the smallest little steps every single day, and just relearning how to do everything. All these things that you just take for granted forever. I was just like relearning it. And my daughter Lily came down, and she was there for like 2 days, and she literally just like hung out and just like, we just like played games. And I've never seen anyone so content at 10 years old to just like do nothing.
Come
you
here,
know?
Lily. That was a perfect cue.
She's here.
Come sit with your dad. I want to ask you something. So it was 2 years ago, so you were just a little child. You were just a little nugget, right?
Yeah.
So how scared were you for your dad?
I don't even know. Just like it's so hard to process, and just like
It's okay.
I don't even know how to explain it. Like, yeah.
Okay, here's a better question for you. How much do you admire your dad for
A lot. Like a
getting
lot. A crazy
this
amount.
far? Yeah. So tell us about that. Tell us about what you've seen him go through.
That, and just like I would come home and he'd be sitting in his wheelchair, sitting out in the sun, and I'd be like, hi, and staying high, and then he didn't know how to, he knew how to. He couldn't bend his knees, so I put on his socks for a while, and yeah.
Where's little elf? I love that.
She did PT with me as well.
You
She
did?
wrote down my whole PT schedule, and she would like get out the yoga mat and do PT with me. So
Oh my God, that's so sweet. And you probably learned a lot about courage, strength,
Yeah.
and being able to come back from just about
Yeah.
anything in life.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. How much do you love your daddy?
a lot.
Oh, how happy are you?
I'm gonna
that
write this day on the calendar. She admitted it.
I always say I love you.
Oh, this is so sweet. You're adorable, by the way.
Thank
Your whole
you.
family's here. You guys want to all come and say hi? No. Well, and you have a support crew here with you guys. They're like, no, we're not moving from these seats. We saw what you just did to Lily.
Do you bike with your dad now?
I do, yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Fun.
Great. Like, where do you guys go?
We go all over. We go to Beaver Creek, Arrowhead, Eagle. Where's Hippo?
Summit County.
Summit. Yeah, that's a
We'll
fun
go to
one.
Grand Junction together. So
Wow.
yeah.
You're geographically better than I am already, I can tell. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, as a youngster, if you ever had a friend who ended up with something that they were scared about or their life might change,
Yeah.
I bet you would have amazing advice
Yes.
for them. What would you tell them?
Stay positive, get like high hopes, and just keep going.
Oh, I love
Oh, I love her. Can I keep her? I don't have kids. You don't want to really lend her to me. But
You can have it.
adorable. Wow. And
That's so
so
inspiring. I love
it
that.
really, I mean, you're very inspiring. And you can stay here, or you can go sit back, but whatever, if
Okay.
you're comfortable here with your dad.
Bye.
Oh,
Oh, my God. So
that is so sweet.
this comes to another question, and you as a mom probably thought the same thing. How much did you think of your immediate family, this beautiful little girl, when you were going through this? Was it part of the reason why you were like, I am making it?
Setting a good example was definitely on my mind. I felt like I let her down for sure. Like it was really hard to hear about her, like she was, crying in school. And I mean, it's just like a lot to see. And it's just, you don't really wish that out on anyone. So, I mean, that was definitely super rough. But I think for sure setting a good example is definitely a high priority for me.
Absolutely, because
Definitely.
you wanted to make sure Lily was okay and anybody else around you was okay. So you have you on your mind and your loved ones on your mind.
Yeah, and my dog, obviously he's the loved one, but I felt very guilty about that as well.
Yeah.
So
I know, because we don't know what the dog, like dogs get traumatized too. So you don't even know what he felt or what he was going through, but you gave him the love and now he's okay. And he obviously runs next to your bike.
yeah, he just runs all day long like a crazy trash panda that he is. So,
Trash panda.
yeah. So
do you still ski? Did you get back on the skis, or how does that feel for you now?
So-
Yeah.
I've retired from backcountry skiing, which has been difficult to say the least. Like when it first happened, it's like, I never want to ski again, but it was a part of my identity for 16, 18 years.
Wow.
Absolutely.
So it's very difficult, or it was very difficult to just be like, well, I'm done and that's it. And also to try to explain it to all my partners. I mean, I was going out and just skiing everything under the sun, and they're just like, what do you mean you're done? So, I mean, that was like a big part of it. And for me, it was just to never be that injured again. And it was definitely an eye opener. I took all the classes and all the safety courses, but I was 2 hours from the car and it took them 8 hours to
Wow.
rescue me. So, I mean, that's just like, and it's like as close as you ever are to a car. I mean, I was doing,
It's true.
10 miles from the car easy. So, I mean, that really puts it in perspective of how far you're out, and when things go wrong,
And that's the back bowls,
Really-
the back country for you. You just,
you just don't
the
know.
one thing about
Yeah.
an avalanche is they just kind of come at you, and you really have. I know the only thing I know about an avalanche is you're supposed to swim it if you can. Is that right? I don't know, but like I would not be wise enough to ever venture out that way. And I think that you were experienced enough, so you knew what you were doing, and yet it still happens.
mean, it was just the wrong place at the wrong
Yeah.
time. I mean, we were just in too steep of terrain, but there's people that are skiing steep stuff all the time.
Sure.
And you're going to get away with it most of the time, but when you don't and things go wrong, it's just generally
yeah.
not going to end very well.
I know. I've been watching
So-
in California what just happened
Yeah.
with all those moms.
And they were on a guided trip.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
it's just one of those nature things.
yeah.
Were
I
there
mean,
any signs that could have happened, would have happened before you noticed, or you just turned around and it was there?
No, it was just there.
Like a
There was no-
tsunami.
like usually when there's a good amount of like signs about avalanches, like the snow will be like collapsing around you. It's one thing in the snow is a decent one, but we just shouldn't have been there. It's just the bottom line.
Yeah.
So, what is advice to you to all the hot rodders out there? Because people think that they're invincible, and if I see a sign that says only experienced skiers, I'm going to the bunny hill right away. But my point is that what advice would you give to somebody? It's not worth the survival of the fittest feeling, I would guess. I don't know.
I mean, humans in general are always going to be chasing the stoke and the powder, and that's just kind of always how it is. I mean, you can have someone that just like passes away or gets really banged up, and there's still people that are always going to be doing it. I think my word of advice would be to know your partners really well and to make sure that you're on the same page and that they really know what they're doing and that you're not just going out with anyone.
That makes perfect sense. And then you have that trust.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So I think that would be the biggest one. But the longer that you're out, the more of a chance you're going to have for something like this to happen.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Well, that makes sense too. You know, you're going against time, and the weather has a lot to do with avalanches.
yeah, absolutely. So Colorado has literally the worst avalanches in the world.
Right.
So our snow is just super unstable. So I'm not going to geek out on the snow conversation, but that's just tried and true. We just have the worst snowpack possible. So
Your partner wasn't as injured as you were, correct?
he had compartment syndrome as well.
Gotcha.
So, but he was fine and recovered just fine. But the doctor was definitely worried about him like losing his hand and
Wow,
being
that's
pretty messed up
you
as well.
both
so,
got the same thing.
yeah. So I'd never even heard of it before. I was just like,
I haven't either. I
Yeah.
didn't even hear of the ulnar until I got bit by a dog once, but that's the only reason why I knew what that is. That's just incredible. And how long after the incident did you finally get back to work and feel like you were getting back to abnormal? Nobody's normal anymore.
I'm definitely not normal.
Me
that's
either.
for sure. Don't say anything.
Lily goes, I
Lily's
know,
over
I got
there
an answer.
giggling. You're my daughter, lock it up. I was doing PT at Howard Head, so I started riding the stationary bike, and by riding it, I was rocking my legs back and forth because I
Oh.
couldn't bend my knee
Wow,
all
okay.
the way. So there was quite a bit of scar tissue in my knee.
Oof.
So I had friends that had like full knee surgeries and they recovered so much faster than what I recovered. I don't know if it was because I had hardware or what was going on, but I was just like, this is
Well, you
not
had a
fair.
rod. You have a rod in there,
But
you
it's
know.
not. It still was bending, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that was a really tough one to try to get the knee to bend and also just get my fingers to work. Like it's amazing how much muscle loss you have.
Yeah, you atrophy like that.
Oh, it's just like instant.
It's
and
weird.
it was probably at least like a month until I could even do PT on my hand because it was so swollen.
Wow.
So when I first went to Howard Head, they were using Q-tips to desensitize my hand because it was so painful and so.
Was it almost
brutal.
like chronic regional pain where you couldn't touch different,
couldn't-
like nothing, like even
nothing,
silk would hurt?
Yeah, everything. Yeah. So she was using Q-tips on my hand to start, and that was kind of the beginning of all of it. But to answer your question, it was about mid-June where I could pedal a bike.
Aw.
So I got the full revolution around, and then I finally was able to get on my mountain bike and just like ride around the neighborhood. And
What did
I
that
was
feel
just
like for you?
It was unbelievable.
I mean,
was
you're
just,
alive, riding your bike around your
Yeah.
neighborhood after this.
I was just so excited. I was just like screaming around the neighborhood. I like couldn't believe it. And I went back to work on July 7th.
Wow.
So pretty quick recovery,
That's
to say the
amazing.
least. So it was about a month after that where I felt like I was getting to where I wanted to be. It was still like pretty difficult. I remember I was grilling corn like the second week that I was there, and I literally like had to switch hands back and forth because it was just so much work to do
Right.
that.
Yeah.
Like,
Now you're
something
ambidextrous.
you would never. Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to be ambidextrous to cook in general, but it was just like I had no choice. I was just like, and you're trying to like figure out how to use your right hand because I'm left-handed.
Oh, me
So-
too. Yeah, that's right. We're all three left-handed. Let me see your eyes. Are they green? They are kind of green.
Depends on the day.
Well, they're greenish. We're all three witches. That's all I have to say. We're the good witch, though. That's so funny. Three left-handed, green-eyed people in one podcast.
So they say that you protect yourself with your dominant hand.
Oh,
So I think that's
interesting.
That
maybe
makes
not,
sense.
but that's what I've heard. So
Well, that makes sense why that hand was the one that got wounded the most. Now, take us to today.
what about today?
What about it?
What are we doing today?
Like, where are you today in life? What are you doing, and how is everything going?
I am gonna do a 50K running race in March.
Amazing.
I did about 4,000 miles last year on the mountain bike and running. So I'm just kind of
A little bit here,
getting there, you know. So
You're more active than anybody I know who's never been injured.
I'm in the best shape of my life right now.
Really?
So it took obviously a lot to get to where I'm at, and it's still not easy.
Sure.
But, you know, I get a lot of questions, not as much anymore, but it's like, how's your recovery going and this and that? And I'm like, well, when I ride 50 miles, my knee kind of hurts, you know? And it's just like, I don't know. It's just like funny when people want to have those conversations. It feels like a lot of them just want to fill their cup. And it's like, you don't really care about me, you know?
Aw, that's
it's just
sad.
like, but I'm just like, well, yeah, I just do this and that and that. So it's just like, I'm bragging, but it's also just like, well, you know, you just keep on drinking beer and watching football, and I'll just ride 100-milers. So
Yeah, who's the healthy one here, right? So if you had advice for, I mean, let's say there were 30 of Lily's classmates in front of you, what would you give them for advice on how to pull up the britches and move forward in life when things go wrong?
I think it's just positive attitude. That's just the bottom line. So, and some days are easier than others with Lily for the positive attitude. But she is 12 going on 13, but she has a lot of like mental fortitude. She's mountain biking up Arrowhead and doing all types of sports outside. So,
That's beautiful.
you know, so, and you just got to keep on keeping on. I think it's just a matter of just like showing up and just doing what makes you happy. That's just kind of how I roll every day, even before this happened.
Right. So refreshing.
Is this the first time you've shared this story? You give me the impression that this has been something that's been hard to talk about. And so I'm just wondering if it's getting easier as time kind of goes on to kind of share that experience and what you've gone through.
I've shared the whole story with maybe like 2 or 3 people.
Yeah.
So
And now you're sharing with
it's-
like 2 or 3 people. We have a really big audience.
We do.
I'm kidding. We are growing. We are growing. We are growing. We're getting a lot of attention lately. So I want your story to get out there and be really positive for everybody to just. I mean, I've been through so much crap in my life, and hearing your story, which is big. I mean, we're talking like one major event.
I mean, yeah.
To be able to just have that positive attitude, care enough about the people around you and yourself to become not only full and whole again, but to be, you just said it, the best shape of your life. It's amazing.
It's absolutely incredible and inspiring. And do you think you'd ever write your story or share it and put it into publication?
Like a TED Talk.
TED Talk?
The
a
life
book?
and times of Cheddar Bob.
Yes.
I want to know where Cheddar Bob comes from.
That's not a good story.
It's probably not as good as the one you just told. Anyway, I want your friends to come over here for 1 minute, just to show him love. No, they're not doing it. They're not doing it. That's okay, because I was going to close the show with everybody giving him a hug. Yeah, you're gonna do it. Come on. Nobody's watching. I swear. Come on. Jen, do you have any other further questions for?
No,
Joel.
just thank you so much for coming and sharing your story. This has been awesome. Like, I hope that you keep continuing to thrive and to bring your positive inspiration to the rest of the county. And keep, posting your videos. You're a rock star out there.
That's
Thank you
amazing.
so much. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
I have to just say you're an incredible person. You're very. I'm admiring you for your stamina, your determination, your strength, your will, your attitude, and where you are today. You know, a lot of people just kind of sink into their stuff and woe's me, and that's the end. But you're living proof that you can get through pretty much anything, even hanging off a helicopter, and come back and make life happen and make people around you happy and prove to the world that you're a strong human.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
Thank you too. Aw. All right. Any last words? Mystery Science Theater people over there. Lily, thanks for coming on over and giving your dad. You want to give him a hug to say goodnight?
Yeah.
All right. We are the Chatbox Vale, everybody, your mental health podcast. And listening to stories like Joel's really gives us the strength and the fortitude to push on forward and to know that we are really independent, strong human beings and we can get through anything.
Absolutely. There's always a comeback. You just got to fight for it.
That's right. All right. Chatbox. Woohoo! Thank you so much.
Thank you.